The Balaalo is a term commonly used in Uganda to refer to a semi-nomadic pastoralist community, primarily cattle keepers. While the term itself can be derogatory, meaning someone who follows their cows, it has come to broadly describe groups of pastoralists, often of Bahima and Tutsi origin, who migrate in search of grazing land for the livestock. So the question is, who are the Balaalo? The Balaalo are not a single homogeneous ethnic group. They are primarily pastoralists, characterized by their focus on cattle keeping. Their presence has been noted in various parts of Uganda, particularly in northern, eastern and northwestern regions, where they have migrated in search of pasture. This migration has led to significant tensions with local agricultural communities, largely due to conflicts over land use, destruction of crops by free-ranging cattle, and access to water sources. Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni has issued executive orders. Example, Executive Order number 3 of 2023 and number 2 of 2025 to address the unplanned and indisciplined movement of Balaalo, citing criminal and unfair practices. These directives aim to regulate cattle movements, ban free-ranging livestock, and ensure that any land occupied by Balaalo is legally acquired, fenced, and has permanent water sources. There is ongoing legal action by some Balaalo against these eviction orders, arguing they violate their constitutional rights. Do they come from Rwanda? The origin of some Balaalo is indeed linked to Rwanda, as well as other neighboring countries like Tanzania and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Historical accounts suggest that some pastoralists of Rwanda or Rwandese origin, particularly those identified as Tutsi, have migrated into Uganda. These groups, along with Bahima pastoralists from western Uganda, are often collectively referred to as Balaalo. While some Balaalo have been in Uganda for generations, recent migrations have intensified the debate about their citizenship and land rights. Some officials and community leaders assert that some Balaalo are non-Ugandans, leading to calls for evictions based on their inability to prove Ugandan citizenships. Is there anything that links them to M23 rebels? Direct conclusive evidence of a widespread institutionalized link between the Balaalo community as a whole and the M23 rebels is not established in the publicly available information. However, the conflict in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, that's DRC, involving the M23 rebels is a complex regional issue with multiple actors and overlapping interests. So the question is, what is evident that can maybe come close? Uganda's role in the Democratic Republic of Congo conflict. Uganda has been accused by United Nations experts of providing support to the M23 rebel groups and of allowing M23 and Rwandan Defense Force RDF troops passage through its territory. Uganda denies these allegations, asserting its military operations in the DRC are against other rebel groups. We must remember that there is regional dynamics and ethnic ties. The M23 rebel is largely composed of Congolese Tutsis. Given that some Balaalo in Uganda are of Tutsi origin, and considering the complex historical and ethnic ties across the Great Lake region, there can be assumptions or accusation of affinity or indirect connections by some people to the M23 rebel and the Balaalo. However, this does not imply that the entire Balaalo community is involved with it or supports the M23 rebel. Exploration of tensions has been there. In conflict zones, existing ethnic or resource-based tensions, such as the one between pastoralists and agriculturalists, can be exploited by armed groups. It's plausible that individuals from various communities, including the Balaalo, could be caught up in or coerced into rebel activities, or that rebels could leverage local grievances for their own agenda and clone a rebel which are not of origin to like Acholi. There's been accusations of forced recruitment and security concerns. Some reports suggest that the influx of Balaalo, particularly those armed, has raised security concerns in areas where they settled, and there have been accusations of forced recruitment by various armed groups operating in the region. However, this is distinct from a direct inherent link between the Balaalo community and the M23 rebel. Several sources from Google, in summary, while the Balaalo's migratory patterns and perceived origins from Rwanda are part of the complex narrative, and Uganda's alleged involvement with the M23 is a documented concern, there is no direct evidence to definitely state that the Balaalo community as a whole is linked to the M23 rebels. The concerns often stem from broad ethnic associations, land conflicts, and the volatile security situations in the Great Lake regions, and also in the historical dynamics of northern Uganda. Thank you.